Hey there, I'm Parker from PetPyves Persona Project. Before my era begins, I'd like to host a Q&A. My favorite song is 1X by 3 Days Grace. I'm in quite a few fandoms, but the most notable two are Naruto and Undertale. My favorite Pokemon is Zubat. My interests are very different from the other eras. There are things like piano, sculpting, sewing, crafting kind of stuff, you know? Heck, even origami. I had a favorite stuffed animal. It was a little green moose with swirls that my dad got from a trip he went on once. It got left behind when we went no contact with them. It's actually one of the very few stuffed animals we lost. Of course, it had to be mine. Surprisingly, no genre of book really inspired the Rebels. I guess above all else, it would be anime and video games that really inspired the Rebels. Super embarrassing, but I don't read and I don't know of any poets actually. I'm just kind of a self-proclaimed author and poet myself. My favorite thing to draw and doodle right now are little doodles of myself, the Akatsuki from Naruto, Undertale characters, or my OCs from the Rebels, the story I'm writing. I'm the first and last era to have my favorite animal be a giraffe. All the other eras make fun of me for all my snacks. They say they're disgusting. I like making pizza toast. It's like cheese and pepperoni on toast. Like, what the heck is so bad about that? My top 5 video games are Skyrim, Undertale, The Sims, Minecraft, and Animal Jam. My favorite poem I ever wrote was called Ode to the Stars. And no, before you ask, I'm not gonna share it because it's embarrassing. But my favorite line was, Ode to the stars, who shine for you, who lie to you. Also, I didn't freaking animate yet. Still to this day, my favorite Pokemon game is Pokemon Soul Silver. I have heard of Digimon, I've just never seen it nor played it. Favorite warrior cat is still Yellowfang. Favorite vine? Like a plant? What are you talking about? My favorite TV show right now is Naruto, but I have a few other animes I really like Sergeant Frog. What's my favorite anime? Gee, what have I been saying this whole time? Maybe it's Naruto! I might like Naruto a little bit, specifically Naruto Shippuden. I do more than like anime, you know. But alas, my favorite character from anime has to be Deidara from Naruto Shippuden, member of the Akatsuki, and an artist who uses explosions as a means of expression. But there are so many Pokemon that could use different variants. I've been seeing this forever. We need more stuff like evolutions, except with different types of Pokemon. Like, how cool would it be to have a bug type that evolves into different typings of butterflies? That would be so awesome, right? I have 2 favorite movies. First one is the live-action Alice in Wonderland. The second one would be Wolf Children. I like to read manga right now, mostly because it's almost like watching anime during school hours. I want to be an author for the sole purpose of changing the world. I could care less if I make a cent off of it. Though Holly does say it is important to survive off of our art or whatever, I disagree. I think I'd rather starve. Well, this is kind of embarrassing, but my favorite OC is Parker from the Rebels. Holly named me after that character and designed me to look like that character. So I am my favorite OC, if that makes sense. This is getting very existential very quickly. The other eras make fun of my hyperfixations because they're so outlandish, but honestly, I don't care. My favorite one right now is keys. I have hundreds of them, and I turn them into necklaces and wear them all the time. Did I cosplay during this era? Of course I did. My favorite cosplays were always the Akatsuki from Naruto because the cloaks are very fun and flowy, and I love wearing my headband everywhere I go. My favorite cat breed is probably a Russian Blue because I have a cat named Misty who's the same breed. Oh, ha ha, everybody calls me Peter Parker Spider-Man. Ha ha, so funny. My name's not Peter, it's Parker. My favorite features about each era are as follows. Wildchild's authenticity, Blackbird's bravery, Holly's creativity, Haley's strength, and Robin's patience. The most interesting dream I think I've ever had was one about a little devil who helped me possess other people and help them. I think Holly era told me we turn it into a story someday. Hilariously, I don't like marshmallows. They are way too sugary, but incredibly fun to burn in a fire. Of course I have pets. I have a bunch of cats. Tom, Jealous, Frisco, Misty, Patch, and Lucky. And my brother also has a rabbit named Boomer. My method of writing is actually quite strange. The physical copies that I carry around are not actually what I'm writing. It's more of a personal diary where I talk to my characters and work through some emotions and stuff. Most of my actual work is on the computer, hilariously enough. My favorite memory is going to Disney World with my best friend and getting caught in a rainstorm. It sounds crazy, but it was the time of my life. I'm not quite sure I have a favorite person in this era. I was very alone. My favorite thing about writing stories is the escape from reality, being somewhere else for a little while and forgetting your body even exists. I live for it. My favorite food is French fries. My favorite candy is Lifesavers. If I had to write a book, it would definitely be something about fantasy, superpowers, mythical creatures, far-off distant worlds and planets. My favorite color is red, specifically Candy Apple Red. My favorite mobile game to play on my iPad was Dragon Veil. It's a dragon collecting game that I still play, by the way. Please add me. My pronouns pronouns are he, him. My era starts at 14 years old and ends when I turn 18, so it's about 4 years long. My favorite bands were 3 Days Grace, My Chemical Romance, Panic at the Disco, Fall Out Boy, Red, Stone Sour, Shinedown, Breaking Benjamin, basically everything emo. If I could describe myself in a few words, it would be quiet, full of heart, gentle, warm, forgotten, underestimated, strong, free. My favorite ice cream flavor is chocolate chip cookie dough, and my favorite sandwich type, probably just a good old grilled cheese. It's kind of sad, but the reason why I look the most like Holly is because this is when I was my most authentic self, and Holly's just now getting back to being more like me. Took us a long time to figure out that I had it right all along. The idea for the Rebels came to me in a dream, like most of my ideas do. If I could change anything about the world, I would get rid of money entirely. It corrupts people. It ruins everything. The world would be such a different place if it wasn't hinged on something monetary. My favorite retro console is the GameCube. If I could travel anywhere in the world, I'd want to go to the UK or Japan. Those are where my hyperfixations are. Of course I'm still into Warriors during this era. I read all the books as they come out. My favorite shiny Pokemon has to be Shiny Shelder, because it's bright orange. I'm 100% a cat person. I've had glasses most of my life. The reason why I'm the only one that has them is because I'm the only era that likes them. I'm nearsighted though. I can't see anything far away. If I could transform into any animal, I'd want to be a cat. If I had to describe myself with one song, it would have to be Paradise by Coldplay, one of my other favorite bands in this era. My favorite Pokemon type is not shocking, as it is fire type. My favorite artistic tool is just a pencil. Pencil and paper and eraser. Everything else overcomplicates things. I like things to be very simple. My favorite school subject is English, specifically literature. When things get really bad, I have a folder of photos that keep me inspired to keep going, full of my favorite characters, some of my favorite artworks, and I do a slideshow to some of my favorite songs on my iPad. Just a reminder that there are still good things. I love to wear hoodies and jackets, anything that covers up my body. Not a huge fan of my body. I always knew I was going to tell my life story. I'm honestly kind of shocked it took me as long as it did. I like Persona Project. I think it's very important. I wish we get to know more artists' stories. If I could choose any of my OCs to come to life, I feel like it's only fair to say Peeves. He's just a little guy. My opinion on pumpkin pie, that's my favorite pie. My favorite online animated series at the time is Blood Brothers. It's a wolf series on YouTube. If I could choose any fictional world to live in, I'm gonna have to pick Hyrule from Legend of Zelda. There'd be always something to explore. While yes, dangerous, I think that adds to the adventure of it all. My favorite thing to do is to sit out on my tire swing and write, especially at sunset. Inspirational for writing poetry. Blackbird had fire powers long before I did. I was just the one who decided to master that skill and control it. If I had to describe myself as a book trope, I guess it would just be rags to riches or zero to hero, coming from absolutely nowhere and changing the world. My favorite things in the world are my stories. Nothing means more to me than my characters and worlds. I have a good relationship with each of the eras. Wild Child and Blackbird especially. My favorite flower is a tiger lily. I watched a ton of YouTube during this era. My favorite YouTuber was Jessie Mew. She played video games, had a very calm voice. Out of all the eras, my favorite has to be Blackbird. She's so underrated. Reason I don't like Holly calling me Parks. Holly can explain better.
When your birth name is Haley, there's a lot of nicknames you can make off of that. It's one of my pet peeves.
If an alien invasion happened or any kind of apocalypse, sorry, but I'm jumping ship. I am not dealing with that. I have some interesting methods for getting over writer's block. One of them is taking the physical copy of my book and physically sleeping next to it. For whatever reason, I feel like all the ideas just come into my head while I'm asleep. Guess I took the term sleep on it very seriously. I don't read fanfiction per se, but I do write it a lot. Some of my favorite ones have to be from Hetalia. I'm a huge crack shipper. Speaking of Hetalia, yes, it was one of the last animes I watched during this era. My OTP is from Hetalia. France X England forever. My favorite bird has to be the mourning dove. The call it makes is very nostalgic to me. Of course I still like Tamagotchis. My favorite Tamagotchi has to be Simi-Simichi, a little bumblebee ferret looking guy. If my mind was a physical place, it would look like a fantastical forest on another planet. Very warm, but full of stars. It would feel safe. If I could have anything in the world as a pet, I'd want something large enough to ride, like a griffin or a very large winged Pokemon. I just really want to fly. Most of my favorite theories and headcanons from my favorite medias are honestly just crack ships. I'm so annoying about crack ships. I was one of those Naruto and Sasuke shippers, alright? It was so fun watching the discourse over it. The reason why I'm missing teeth is because my canines were still baby teeth by the time I was almost 18, so they kind of ripped them out without any anesthesia, and it was awful, and my adult teeth never grew back. My Chinese zodiac is a tiger. My favorite crystal has to be citrine, mostly because there's a belief that it helps with stomach aches. My favorite generation is Sinnoh, and my favorite Pokemon from that region is Drifloon. I have a lot of comfort characters. They span from across my entire life. Characters I heavily identify with, like Beast Boy, Zuko, Kid Icarus, Bowser Jr., Sans, Datara, basically all my favorite characters. I don't use my fire powers per se, they're more of a reminder of my past. Blackbird had broken wings, and I have this fire to control. One of the most chaotic anime experiences I had was being so hysterical after an anime character died that I sat on the kitchen floor crying, holding a broomstick. I was delirious. I prefer to listen to anime dubs, even though they might suck, mostly because my dyslexia keeps me from reading fast enough. My favorite sound has to be rain. Very light rain, not like a storm or anything. My favorite fruit is pineapple. All my necklaces and bracelets are very important to me. If I had to wear those for the rest of my life, I'd be content. Things like my UK bracelet, my yin yang sign from Zane, a key from the Rebels, or my Akatsuki ring. The Avengers came out during my era, and I went to see it in theaters many times. My favorite is the Incredible Hulk. The reason I'm a human while the other eras were based off of animals is because, well, I am the most human out of all of us. I'm the most authentic. I'm the closest to reality that any of us has ever seen. I think I'll always feel a deep connection to nature. At the end of the day, I'm still wild child. There's a saying I live by when coping with comparing your art to others. Comparison is the thief of joy. That's the whole reason why I stay away from social media. Sometimes being in your own little world, in an artistic sense, is a good thing. My favorite niche references have to be very random SpongeBob quotes. It's like half my vocabulary. One quote I wish everyone would know is one I made up myself. Don't hate me for who I'm not. Love me for who I am. A place I hold close to my heart is my tire swing at my dad's house. It's something we built together, and it's a place of comfort and safety for me. Some of my favorite clothes are the only ones that I'm allowed to wear that are masculine, such as swim trunks. My favorite kind of weather is when it's crisp outside. Not too cold, but just enough to where people are having bonfires and you can smell it in the air. Reason why I have my hair up in this specific hairstyle is because I have naturally curly hair that mats very easily. This is the way I dealt with it, by not dealing with it. The best trip I've ever been on was when I went to visit New York. There'll be plenty of episodes about it, trust me. My favorite Nintendo character is Bowser Jr. or King Boo. They're my mains in Mario Kart. My era is going to cover 4 years of my life. I love the Pokemon Mystery Dungeon games. I was assigned Bulbasaur, and my partner was Pikachu. If I could only eat one food for the rest of my life, it would be potatoes. They're so versatile. I never get sick of them. Don't even get me started about fandoms I don't like. In fact, I don't like fandoms at all. I think the culture is very toxic, and sometimes dangerous. I prefer to like things on my own. I still have my favorite thing I ever drew. It's this picture right here. Bunch of anime eyes, but they're from characters that mean a lot to me. I play piano, and I'm currently learning how to play ukulele as well.
Parker didn't realize he was trans during this era. It's something I was in denial of. I didn't realize it until I looked back on it, actually. I just knew in my own head I was a boy. I didn't have the words for it yet.
My scarf is something from my OC, Parker, that I was based off of. It's from his older brother in the story. I planned to go to college because Jim really wanted me to. Despite losing all the money I had for it, I'll find a way. I played Geometry Dash. I was so good at that. If money wasn't an issue and I could buy anything right now, I'd buy a house. That way my home couldn't be taken from me. Ever. I'd always have a safe place to go. My favorite lyrics are from a song called Words as Weapons by Seether. My favorite line being, "You're nothing in my world." My favorite pastry is a donut. Sadly, my fire cannot change colors. Without spoiling too much for my era, I do have a preview of a very funny episode featuring my brother. It's about a secret he kept when we were teenagers, and now he actually revealed it to me.
No way! How did you manage that?
I don't know. Zane did it, bro. Like, it was just there for the ride. I don't know, man. I was just desperate to get rid of the fruit.
I have tried skateboarding. I'm actually more of a rollerblader or a biker myself. Dream job? I don't dream of working. I dream of creating, changing the world. The reason why I deny being emo is because I was already bullied enough. Last thing I want is another label people can bully me over. I love Hershey's and Kit Kats, especially in the fridge. They're my favorite, actually. I didn't gain medical conditions, but I did get misdiagnoses. IBS to be specific, but it actually turned out to be Crohn's disease. At my dad's house, my room is Japanese themed, and at my mom's house, it's British themed. I think I'll always be a butterfly person thanks to Wild Child. Something unique about my era is peace. I think it's the first time in my life I ever felt safe. I think this was the most stable, tranquil time of my life. My favorite drink is a combination I made up myself. It's Mountain Dew and grape juice. I love lasagna. My mom makes a really good one every holiday. I wear socks with sandals because I don't like the feeling of sandals on my feet, alright? The autism in me makes me wear socks 24/7, even with sandals. My favorite philosophical paradox has to be the grandfather paradox. Time travel as a concept is very interesting, but I especially love the idea of messing with timelines to the point that you mess up the fact that you were ever born. born. Anything with timeline paradoxes is fun for me. The most important quality a person can have is authenticity. I can't stand people who lie. I think this is the first era where I prefer to be both outside and inside equally. My favorite season is fall. My favorite evolution is Jolteon. One food I will always refuse to eat is cucumbers. They smell so bad. My favorite character from Undertale is Sans, because I relate to the notion of anybody touches my little brother, I will destroy you. To say I relate is an understatement. There isn't really anybody I looked up to during this era. No good role models around me. That's why I'm happy to have Persona Project, because now I have my future selves to look up to. My favorite themes to cover in poems have to be nature. Stars, trees, the sky, the depth of existentialism, asking the big questions of why when you shouldn't, trying to find answers to questions that are never meant to be answered. Deep stuff. My favorite vocal sim is so obscure. It's something my brother said while role-playing PetPyves once from Undertale. It's just the way he said it. Green bean. This is the era where holidays start to get hard for me. I don't really have a favorite song. On a silliness scale of 1 to 10, I'm unfortunately a 1. I'm very serious. I get along with all of the eras. Sure, we bicker sometimes, me and Holly, me and Blackbird, but I love them all dearly. My favorite calm game is Viva Pinata. The reason why I hang on to the little bit of good I have is because if I didn't, I'd have nothing at all. Sadly, I never got to go to Comic-Con during this era. I was 16 when I realized I was asexual, but I wouldn't realize I was aromantic until Haley's era, I think? If I had 3 wishes from a genie, I'd wish to eliminate money from the world, I'd wish to have the ability to shapeshift, and I wish to have free passes to every theme park in the world, with travel included, so I could ride every roller coaster there ever was. The only language I know is English, but I've been learning Spanish since Blackbird's era. Because of it, I can read and write Spanish. My favorite craft was when I was learning to sew. I actually made a little raccoon. He had a pair of overalls and a little plaid heart on the front. He was adorable. If I only had 60 seconds before the world exploded, I'd hug all my cats and stuffed animals tight. I want to go with them. If wanting a Lapras from Pokemon counts as having a pet dinosaur, then yes, I would like one, please. If I could be any supernatural being, I want to be a merman. What can I say? I'm a fiend for water. I believe the combination of fresh air and physical movement is your best bet for tackling stress. I would often go on walks, go swimming, climb trees, anything to get me moving while being outside. If I could have a 10-minute presentation on any topic, I would want to cover my extensive AU of Naruto because I truly believe it is far better than the original content. My AUs are top-notch and introduce new characters that would be fundamental to the story. I never did any extracurriculars while in school because my parents could never drive me to them, but I did do community service while cleaning up the art room during lunch hours. I'm a waffles person. Sorry, pancake people. This is what my favorite key necklace looks like. The necklace part is broken now, obviously, but the key is still perfectly intact. And lastly, the question I got asked most on this video for some reason. Am I okay? Yeah, I'm fine. In fact, everyone says it. This is one of the best eras. I'm one of the luckiest. And now it's time for a bonus round of questions. The Rebels is a book that I'm writing. It's about superpowered people in a post-apocalyptic society. When they're born, they're given a key or a locket, and it's their destiny to find out who their soulmates are. This is the book I carried around. The cover is made of cork, and the inside includes character bios, daily diaries, and ideas that I jot down throughout the day. In the back it had a folder where I'd keep all my sticky notes, which, was a lot. My favorite Warrior Cats book to come out during my era was Tallstar's Revenge. It was so cool seeing how WindClan functioned. Not to mention the canon gay ships in that one. Probably said this like 100,000 times, but my favorite anime villains are the Akatsuki from Naruto. I'm indifferent to Radiohead. I only like one of their songs, and it's no surprises. Even then, I like the cover by Regina Spektor more. I did play Pokemon X and Y. I chose Chespin as my starter, but after this generation, I never got attached to my starters and didn't end up keeping them on my final team. If I could dye my hair any color, I want it to be bright red, or orange, like it is here. Specifically, my powers allow me to manipulate fire as well as generate it, which is why I have to be extra careful. Surprisingly, I did not play Dungeons & Dragons yet. That's in Holly's era. I'd love to talk more about my hyperfixations. I have an Undertale OC named Audie. Concept was that he would run a shop with his brother, Eddie, and the name would be Odds and Ends. I thought it'd be cool to have like a traveling merchant in Undertale, where they could sell you items that you didn't previously buy from other shops. Made a whole story around these two. Did I ever accidentally burn something I was working on? Huh. Let's just call this foreshadowing and move forward. Corresponding the exact vessels to the characters from Rebels is going to be a little challenging considering how different they are, but I'll do my best. Ivy is based off of a character named Aislinn, whose story was about freedom, and Aislinn's sister, Amberly, is actually where Heather came from, and that story is more about peace. Thistle is based off of a character named Cole. Their main theme was justice. Ebony was based off of Henry. His story was about loyalty. Rose is based off of Kelly. Her story was about love. Cypress is based off a character named Zeke who had to face his destiny. Fennel was based off of a guy named Kyle whose story was about hope. Lupin was based off a character named Daniel who was all about pride. This one's kind of strange because Poppy wasn't exactly based off of any of the rebels, but if I had to correspond one, it would probably have to be Scott. His story was about passion. This is the funniest one. Isaac from the Rebels was actually writing a book called 12 Days. That story would eventually become 12. So it's kind of weird that a character in 12 ended up writing 12 before 12 became 12. It's like a weird paradox. But Isaac actually became Mallow. And to be a little self-indulgent, Willow was definitely inspired by myself, Parker. And lastly, Rue is based off of the older brother of Parker, Tony, who had a story about ambition. That was the longest, most convoluted question ever. You're welcome. I'm not a huge fan of sweets, so I'd actually prefer muffins. Probably blueberry muffins. Of course, I still play Animal Crossing. My favorite villagers are Filbert, Twiggy, Vesta, and Poncho. Of all my OCs to relate to the most, I think it has to be Tony from the Rebels. He's got a headstrong little brother he's trying to look out for and protect from his toxic family. That's all for my Q&A. Thank you so much for asking questions. I'll see you guys in Persona Project.